Montbello head coach Ben Gregory, also 44 years old, just like his counterpart on the other sideline, Mike Wolford. Ben Gregory, who was a star linebacker and running back at the University of Nebraska, drafted by the Buffalo Bills in 1968. A career shortened by injury, however, the very next year in '69. Ben was one of the people who blocked for O.J. Simpson up in Buffalo. This is Oberle on 1st and 10. And he hits a host of black and silver jerseys. And he's brought down back at the 8-yard line, a loss of a couple.
Swayzer, a defensive end, they just come right to the football, number 88, and they stop Pete Oberle, and they have great defense, and they're strong up front, and they did a great job, and that's the way to start the first play of the second half.
Boy, Oberle, a kid who ran for more than 1,000 yards this year, having trouble getting out of the blocks today. They are keying on him and doing a good job of stopping him. 2nd and 13. Full house backfield for Cherry Creek. 3 running backs. And it goes to the first man through is Marion, still on his feet, still up, and finally down at approximately the 34-yard line. And there's a penalty flag on the field. Great job of running by Marion, Sam.
Marion is really a tough runner. Like I said, he's a typical Cherry Creek back. He runs low to the ground, keeps his feet going, big play, and here it goes. He's really doing a good job here. He hits right up in the middle. They got a little misdirection. Good job of faking. He puts his head. He's covered, protects the football. Great job. It gives him a great run and an excellent field position. And also it looks like there was a penalty, Les, to tack something on there.
The penalty was a personal foul against Montbello, and that's because Marion was on the ground for a good 2-3 seconds when one of the Montbello players insisted on hitting him anyway. So it's 1st and 10. At the 50-yard line. This is Oberle. This time a little room. Gets about 4 yards. Tremaine Ankrum, the quarterback who also plays middle linebacker, made the tackle.
Well, a lot of those kids go both ways on the Montbello team, Les. And you wonder in the second half if they'll get worn down, but yet it's a nice day. It's pretty cool, and maybe that won't be a factor.
That's a question we've posed each of the last 3 years with Montbello being in the final. But Montbello never seems to wear down at the end of the game.
They're right there.
Kids are in good shape. 2nd and 6. This is Torres. Gets maybe a yard out of it. 3rd and still a ways to go for Cherry Creek. Down to the Montbello 45-yard line.
Those kids down front, Les, are very strong. Dave Gonzalez runs a solid weight program in the summer, he and Van, and they're just so strong. They're fighting off those offensive linemen and just swarming to the football.
Ben Gregory gives Gonzalez a lot of credit for turning this program around because before Gonzalez got to Montbello High School, there really wasn't much of an organized weight program.
He's been a big help. They get along real well together.
3rd and 4 for Cherry Creek. Montbello stacking the middle, looking for that run up the middle, and they get it, and they stop it. Is Marion the fullback down to the 43-yard line, but it'll be 4th down and 2-3 yards to go for Cherry Creek.
Big decision here, Les. What are you going to do, go for it or punt?
I'll ask you. You're the former coach.
That looks like a big substitution. With the lead, you're going to punt the football, Les.
That's exactly what Cherry Creek will do. Garnsey back to punt it. Back to receive it for Montbello is number 31, Ray Jackson. Garnsey with a lot of time. Nice high kick. Once again, Montbello lets it bounce. And Cherry Creek will down the ball back at the 7-yard line. Right now, let's get an update from the 5A game. Well, not quite yet. That game is winding down. We want to give you the final score. We'll go to it very soon up in Longmont. Right now, we'll keep it here at the Stutler Bowl. 8:55 to go in the 3rd quarter. Montbello with the ball, 1st and 10.
That he's got to stay away from the football. It could bounce up and hit him.
The bounces have not gone Montbello's way so far. It's 1st and 10. This is Ray Jackson. I don't think he got anything out of it at the 4-yard line. They've been playing from a hole offensively all day from deep in their own territory.
Well, you don't need this. You don't want to start on your 2 or 3 yard line. It's awful tough, and they've been like this all afternoon, as you said. But let's see if Tremaine can get them out of there.
8:25 to go in the third quarter. It's 2nd and 9. Montbello keeping to the ground. Ray Jackson. Maybe a yard, maybe 2. Montbello still trying to pound it up the middle. Down by 14. The clock ticking along.
Listen, if you're a defensive fan, or you're a defensive coach, you're getting a treat today because these two teams are playing great defense, and you're not getting a lot of offense and a lot of scoring, but they do play great defense.
Well, we've got a throwing situation here for Montbello. It's 3rd and 6, but no, they go up the middle again. Ray Jackson turns it outside. There's a flag on the field. He picks up the first down. I think you're going to get a face mask. Somebody tried to drag Ray Jackson down by the helmet.
Ray Jackson has great speed. He lines up at the I formation. He runs an isolation right over the right guard. He busts it back to the left. He moves the football. There's a face mask. He moves the football to the outside, which is really, he's been well coached. Good, tough athlete, good speed. And I think that face mask on Cherry Creek, and that helps him out with another penalty, Les.
Red, first down.
That's exactly what it is. So march off another 15 yards for Montbello. That's their biggest offensive play of the afternoon between the Ray Jackson run and the extra 15 yards. And Montbello is up to its own 43-yard line. The best field position of the game.
Well, let's see what they do with it. When you have good field position, you got to take advantage of
it. 3 running backs lined up behind Tremaine Ankrum. They call it the power I. Ankrum pitches it as he's being brought down. Number 23 is Marcus Robinson, and he is wrestled down at the 23-yard line. An inadvisable pitch by Tremaine Ankrum.
Well, Ankrum has to have a little bit better judgment. When people are on you and you're running the option and you got people on your back or in your arm, protect the football. Do not pitch the ball out. Here he is an excellent athlete, but he's starting to get people. No one got to him. He was going down. He pitched the ball, and he did a great job, Robinson, of protecting the football, but they did lose a lot of yardage there.
They mark it at the 30, where Robinson's forward progress was first stopped, so it'll be 2nd and 22. The pitch to Robinson again. He turns it up across the 35-yard line, run out of bounds by Colin Harsh. Well, I think on the play previous to this, Tremaine Ankrum had visions of Darian Hagan in his head.
He's watched too many CU games, but I tell you, Ben's not backing off from the option. Even when you put it on the ground, that's not a great place to put it, but he's not backing off. They feel probably in their scouting report that they have to run the option against Cherry Creek, and they're doing a good job of it that last play.
I would imagine Montbello is banking on the fact that they're a quicker team and can turn the corner against Cherry Creek.
They want to get outside.
3rd and 15. This is Robinson again. He's hit hard at the 39. Got maybe a yard out of that. And Montbello brings the punting unit onto the field. William Holland back to punt for Montbello. And receiving it for Cherry Creek once again, Brunson and McDonald. Holland got some foot into that one. This is Brunson, who drops it and falls on it at the 23-yard line. Cherry Creek will keep it with 6:42 to go in the third quarter and a 14-0 lead. Cherry Creek has the ball. Made the tackle. Marcia Neville on the field for a report. Marcia?
As we finish up another change of possession, one thing you notice down here on the sidelines is when you do change possession, no one comes over to talk anything over on the Montbello sidelines. You've made reference to it. 8 starters going both ways on this team. There's no chance to regroup and make adjustments, where Cherry Creek's got the marker board going between possessions each time on the change of possession, going over what they need to do offensively and defensively.
This is Ismarian again. Gets it up to the 29. Short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 4 yards to go.
What they're doing, Les, is the offensive line is coming off the ball extremely well on those 2 plays. to get positive yardage, and I think they're going to continue to do that the rest of the game. Jack Brookhart's the offensive coach here, offensive line coach, and like I said, he's been here 22 years working with Fred Tassone and Mike now.
3rd and 4 for Cherry Creek. This is Torres trying to turn it outside. He does, picks up the first down and a little more, up across the 40 to the 41. Sidney Hodison made the stop.
Les, they got a misdirection play here. They'll fake to the fullback, give to Torres. They pull the backside tackle. Torres bounces it out. Good speed, gets upfield. They executed that play extremely well, and Torres is fighting for positive yardage.
M.J. Torres, a tough kid, 5'10", 160-pound senior. He's a wrestler when he's not carrying the football. He's gone for 447 yards rushing this year, 6 touchdowns. Can also catch the ball out of the backfield. First down for Cherry Creek. Toss goes to Ismarian. Gets a couple yards. Isaac Hawkins made the stop along with Damon Jackson.
Tough defense, Les, because, you know, Montbello has only given up 7.6 points at ball game, and the Bruins got their hands full trying to run the football and keep jamming it down their throat to get time off the clock. But the Warriors are very physical and an excellent defense.
Clock is down to 4 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Cherry Creek playing with a lot of confidence right now. That's Ismarian up across the 45. Gain of about 4. Tremaine Ankrum stopped him.
45. Les, very seldom do you see a quarterback being a middle linebacker. You have to be big, strong, excellent athlete, great condition. And, you know, in all our years, anytime we had a great quarterback, he might play free safety or strong safety. But here this young man lines up as the middle linebacker, and Coach Dave Gonzalez said he's the heart and soul of their defense.
Well, he has all those characteristics you talked about. Great athlete, good size, 6'5". 3rd and 5 for Cherry Creek. Ismarian again, up to the 50. He'll be close to the first down there. Kenyatta Algie stopped him. Looks like Cherry Creek will be a little short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1.
When you have a lead, 14-point lead, again, you kick the football.
That's exactly what Cherry Creek is going to do. Garnsey comes into the ballgame. The senior who punts for Cherry Creek. He used to start on the defensive line, but he suffered a shoulder injury early in the year. And now his duties are limited to punting the ball.
Les, Ray Jackson has to handle the punt this time.
Well, this time nobody will handle the punt because Garnsey put it well out of bounds. And Montbello will get the ball spotted at approximately the 27-yard line, their own 27-yard line. 2:44 to go in the 3rd quarter. This would be a good time if Montbello is going to get anything started to do it now. You don't want to have to do it all in the 4th quarter.
Well, it's getting late and time's starting to run down, and this is pretty good field position. This is not bad, and they got to turn Ray Jackson loose, the main man. That's his nickname, and they got to turn him loose and get some yardage here.
Ray Jackson is number 31, lined up at tailback right now, and he gets the pitch. But he's hit hard. The Montbello coach is on the sideline jumping up and down, yelling at Ray Jackson to turn that ball outside where maybe he can better utilize his quickness.
Well, he's getting a block from Damian Jackson. They're putting him in motion. It's a good play. They're putting him in motion. He's making the block. Ray Jackson's got to use his speed and get outside, but that's easy to say from up here, Les. It's a lot tougher when you have to read it on the turf there.
2nd and 10 for Montbello. Ankrum keeps it. Another option play that didn't quite work the way it was drawn up on the chalkboard. Gets maybe a yard out of that play. Less than 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter now, Sam.
You know, Les, it's difficult to run this type of option against this defense. I mean, they're so good. I mean, Montbello's doing a great job of trying to execute, and the option's a difficult play, but the Bruins are so strong defensively, they get to the ball carrier awful quick.
They're doing a great job of stopping the run, and in their league this year, the Centennial League, they were the best at stopping the pass. So Montbello has its work cut out. This is Ankrum. He wants to pass. Over the middle, nobody close. And another 4th down punting situation for Montbello.
Well, they got to get some help from their kicking game, a big punt or some type of turnover. That's what they need, some type of big play, some type of big turnover, and that'll give them a little spark maybe.
Well, as a former coach, I'll bet your blood pressure shot up a few hundred points watching all the turnovers in this game. That's the bane of a coach, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think a coach right now, he wants to get some offense go. Ben's pretty upset, I bet, right now.
Brunson fields it at his own 37. Tries to turn it outside, does a good job of it, across midfield and down to the Montbello 44-yard line. Damon Reynolds finally ran him out. Brunson with some good speed.
He does have good speed. In the first game Montbello scored, made it 14-14, and Brunson brought the kickoff back to put him ahead and win the ball game 20-14.
You had a good look at a very concerned Ben Gregory. There's a look at the Cherry Creek side of the field. They can taste their 4th state championship. Minutes 17 to go in the 3rd quarter. Cherry Creek leads it 14-0, and they've got the ball again in Montbello territory. Looking for more. Gusmus looking deep. Now with pressure, and finally brought down by Billy Tawani. Well, he's played a whale of a game.
Tawani has good quickness. They're putting a little bit better pressure on the Bruins here. Gusman is poised. He stays in the pocket. He can't find anybody. He's got good speed. He scrambles out, and Tawani puts a good ankle tackle on him to bring him down, and they lose some yardage. And that's another good play that may give them some momentum with their defense.
Sam, you've got to say Cherry Creek is winning the war in the trenches. Once again, we saw the offensive line give Gusmus a lot of time to throw. And when Cherry Creek runs the ball, they're blowing Montbello off the ball. This is Torres turning it outside, cuts back inside, gets a couple extra yards out of it, down to the 43.
Well, they're controlling the line of scrimmage right now, and with little time in the 3rd quarter, Montbello needs a big play.
Marcianello on the sidelines has something for us. Marcia?
Guys, I caught the tail end of the offensive conference before they went back on the field here. Look for something outside. They see something there they like. They're also saying go after the middle backer. So a couple of things to look for on this possession.
When they're talking about the middle backer.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Cherry Creek leads it 14-0. We'll be game. Cherry Creek with the ball and a 14-0 lead. And Sam, before we went to the break, Cherry Creek decided to go after the middle linebacker. What does that mean?
Well, what Marcia said, maybe Tremaine's starting to get a little tired since he goes both ways, and maybe they'll try to, to kind of block down on him or something.
Well, they are running it up the middle again. This is Torres inside the 40. Stacked up by Hodison and a couple other black and silver jerseys at the 39. So Cherry Creek determined to run the ball into the middle and possibly pick on a very tired Montbello defense there. Tremaine Ankrum, who plays quarterback and middle linebacker for Montbello.
That's the first time they ran that draw play I watched them practice this week. They ran it a number of times.
They did, in fact, just take Ankrum off the field. Then again, Cherry Creek is back to punt the ball. One of the few times Ankrum gets a break. Garnsey looking for the right sideline. It's a nice kick. Jackson lets the ball bounce, and it's out of bounds at about the 4-yard line. Boy, if Montbello had its own shovel, it couldn't dig a bigger hole than it's been in all day. We'll be right back in Englewood.
I'll come back and say total yards, and Montbello only 52 yards, and of course the turnovers are still important too.
1st and 10 for Montbello from its own 3-yard line. This is Damon Jackson. Gets nowhere. An incredibly fast game, Sam, probably due to the fact that we haven't seen any passing. One complete pass all day.
It's awful fast. They both run the football, and this is tough for Montbello right now. This is really a tough situation for Ben. What type of plays? You got to get a 1st and 10. You need some movement. You don't have a lot of time in the ball game, and they're struggling offensively.
I think you've just got to start taking some chances. What you've been doing hasn't worked so far. 2nd and 9. This is Ray Jackson. Big hole. Ray gets the first down up to the 16-yard line.
You know, with that first down right there, what they could do now with some field position, they might start throwing the ball. You know, Ray's an awful tired guy. He's handled the ball. He's played a lot of defense. They just give it to him on a short handoff, and Ray just gets upfield and fighting for positive yardage.
Ray's one of those kids who plays both offense and defense for Montbello. 1st and 10 from the 15. Nowhere. Up the middle, no gain.
You know, in the past, Ben's offensive teams have been very potent the last 2 years. He had a lot of people that could score touchdowns, but he feels this year his defense is the best defensive team he's had in a number of years.
Montbello can throw the ball. Tremaine Ankrum is a 52% passer. He's gone in the air for 560 yards this year. I would imagine he has to start throwing it very soon here. But they stay to the ground with Ray Jackson on that play. Stopped at the 18-yard line by Buckley and Schmale. Schmale, another one of those kids who plays lacrosse. Boy, you think they have pressure to show up for the lacrosse team with Mike Wolford coaching them also?
Mike does a good job. He's always been an outstanding lacrosse coach. And it's good training. It's a good mix for football players.
3rd and 7 for Montbello from their own 17. Play is stopped. A number of whistles and flags. Looks like Montbello is going to be called for a procedure penalty. Number 77, Anthony Brown, jumped the gun.
They got to have something happen. I know they have no field position. He needs some type of reverse, some type of successful pass play to give him a spark and just get out of that hole. And it's 3rd and a lot of real estate here, Les.
This is not a team, Sam, as you well know, that tries trick plays. In fact, I don't think they've run a trick play in 2 years.
Well, they better get tricky right now.
Ankrum on 3rd and 11 will throw. The ball is complete. The pass is complete, but the receiver is hit immediately. And the Montbello sideline is looking for an interference call, but they're not going to get it.
Well, he was right on him. They covered it so well, and that was a great tackle. Tremaine goes with just a quick little pass out to the flat. And Cherry Creek is right there to Harsh, and Harsh makes a great hit and stops him down. It's 4th down, and they got to give up the football.
8:20 to go. William Holland punts it away from Montbello. The ball bounces. They got a nice bounce, but it bounces off Brunson and out of bounds for Cherry Creek in Montbello territory. There's a flag on the field. Let's see what it is. It's going to be against Montbello, another illegal procedure call. Now the question is, will Cherry Creek take the penalty or decline it?
They want him to punt over, I think, Les, but you know, that's not bad field position to have the ball right on the 50. But the coaches must feel very confident at Cherry Creek, maybe that they could do a good punt return, because they've always had teams that could run punt returns. I think they've changed their mind, Les. They're going to take the ball there.
You're right, Sam, and we're going to take a break. Have it for you. 1st and 10 for Cherry Creek. Gusmus looking deep for Brunson. He's tripped up and a flag on the field. Carlos Reed ran into Brunson, who was looking to haul in the pass, and we have an interference call.
That's a good call, Les. Gusman just does a little play action, tries to get the ball to Brunson, and Reed just gets tangled up. He's covering him pretty well. I don't think he pushed him, but I think their feet got tangled up. Good call by the officials. And I think he hurt himself also a little bit, Les.
Carlos Reed limping around a little.
Automatic 1st down.
Just heard the official, an automatic 1st down for Cherry Creek.
1st down at the 33.
At the site of the interference. Carlos Reed, 5'10", 165-pound junior, being helped off the field. Cherry Creek with 1st and 10 at the Montbello 33. Is Marion, the fullback, hit quickly.
Good.
Isaac Hawkins there to make the stop. We're under 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Cherry Creek up 14-0, threatening again.
Boy, Isaac Hawkins really came off his block that time. He's so big and strong, and it's awful difficult to run against he and Anthony Brown right there in the middle.
2nd and 10 for Cherry Creek. Oberle tries to turn it outside. Not quite quickly enough. Stopped for no gain.
On that play, they had a misdirection play, and the right guard, number 63, Matt Beaver, did a great job of trap blocking as they went fake to the fullback, give to the other back, and Beaver did a great job of getting a good block there, Les.
And Cherry Creek doing a great job, Sam, of running time off the clock, keeping it on the ground.
Well, when you're a coach on the sideline, you got a 14-point lead, and you look up with 7 minutes, I'm going to run the football and just keep running it down.
3rd and 9, you can expect the run again, probably. Yep, first man through is Marion. Boy, he is a bulldozer, isn't he? Down to the 23-yard line. That was a big pickup of a first down for Cherry Creek.
Boy, he's strong and does a great job of moving his feet. But Ray Jackson came up from the free safety spot and put a hit on Chad. He's got a good hold there. He's getting upfield. He's protecting the ball. And Ray Jackson takes him on, and they bring Ismarian down to the ground and a good 1st and 10. And the Bruins keep moving the ball on the ground with 6:30 in the fourth quarter.
Ismarian, not your prototypical fullback, 5'10", but a well-built 190 pounds, and he's back next year. This time Gusmus wanted to throw, but he is sacked by Kenyatta Algie. Back at the 29-yard line.
Algie came from the backside. It looked like nobody picked him up, one of the blocks or one of the uncovered linemen, but Algie's very active in this defense. Algie, there's no one that blocks the backside, and he comes in and makes a good hit on Gusmus, the quarterback, number 7.
Call it a loss of 7, so the Bruins have 2nd and 17. Less than 6 minutes to go in the ball game.
It's a lot of real estate. That's when I'd look to the assistant and ask him what kind of call he wanted to make when it was a lot of yardage left.
And we thought you were the mastermind behind that operation. That time Cherry Creek messes up the pitch. Ball is still loose. And Montbello has it. Maybe this is what the Warriors need to turn things around, Sam.
Well, I think so. Big turnover. Let's see if Anchor can get it cranked up and some type of offensive pass play to get him back in the ball game.
I believe Damon Jackson recovered the fumble from Montbello, number 46.
They got a little toss right here. They don't handle the football, and it's bouncing around, and Montbello does a great job of swarming around the football, and that's pretty good field position with not a lot of time, with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
And good field position is not something Montbello has had a lot of today. Ray Jackson on the pitch. Tries to go inside, but he is knocked back for a few yards. Some tempers flare on the field. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Montbello. Approaching the 5-minute mark in this game.
Now, I'm really impressed the way they're playing defense, and you wonder why they got to the state championship game with this type of defense. Their defensive coordinator's Rocky Martin, and they're just playing great defense today.
2nd and 9. Ankrum trying to go deep. Way overthrows his man. The intended receiver was William Holland.
That got a strong arm, doesn't he?
Pass was a good 10 yards beyond Holland.
Well, we know he could throw deep because he let that one air out about 50, 60 yards.
Just into the ball game for Montbello is number 81, the split end John Doyle. And he's lined up wide right at the top of your screen. 3rd and 9 for Montbello. Ankrum in the shotgun. Ball is tipped and caught by a Montbello player. And a flag on the field. The ball was taken in by Billy Tawani, the right guard, an offensive lineman.
I don't care, he's on the ground.
Well, they're in the shotgun, and Ankrum throws the ball, and it's tipped. And Tawani catches the football, but I think the call,
Dead ball.
I think a personal foul. He was down on the ground, and they had a late hit, and that's a big break, and they're starting to get better field position right here. But it's just a late hit, Les.
Damon Herring, an outside linebacker for Cherry Creek, was cited for the offense. Montbello gets another 15 yards out of it, and they are in Cherry Creek territory at the 45 with a first down. Ankrum again in the shotgun. And he is sideswiped by number 53, Brian Borg, who rode him like he was breaking in a new colt. Just jumped on Ankrum's back and brought him to the ground.
Ankrum's so tall, he had to jump up high to get on his back.
6'5", the man's got broad shoulders.
He had good protection that time. It's just that Cherry Creek covered those two wideouts extremely well.
Borg had 4 sacks coming into this game. You can add another one to the resume now. Ankrum with the screen to the tight end, Thad Swayzer. Gets it back to approximately the original line of scrimmage, the 45. Todd Geary, the tackle. Call it 3rd and 10 for Montbello. Less than 3.5 minutes to go. Montbello down 14-0. Well, you don't see a screen pass set up for the tight end all that often, do you?
Well, that was a good call because they're starting to rush. They know they're in shotgun. They're in a shotgun formation, so those defensive tackles are putting their ears back and really rushing Ankrum.
3rd and 10. Ankrum looking downfield again. Has his man, Robinson, overthrown by a couple of yards. That would have been 6 if Ankrum just took a little off that ball. Let's go down to Marcia Neville on the sidelines.
As you might expect, Les, the Cherry Creek crowd is picking up their intensity here just a little bit. Aaron Brechtel on the sidelines, the offensive tackle here for Cherry Creek, trying to get him going, yelling out, "State champs almost," which says they still respect Montbello's chances to come back even in the closing minutes of this ball game.
Well, a play like the one we just saw will throw a scare into Cherry Creek. 4th down, Montbello has to go for it. Less than 3 minutes to go in the game. 4th and 10. Ankrum intercepted by number 28, Todd Geary. I think Todd Geary just earned Cherry Creek its 4th state championship.
That was really heads up. They tipped the football, and Gary was right there to make the catch, and that might have done it, Les.
So Cherry Creek has the ball with 2:47 to go in the game. We're going to take a break.
Cherry Creek can get down on the ground, reserve, get down, don't cause another fumble. A big play for Cherry Creek, and with 2:47, I think they're just going to run the clock out and make sure they win their 4th state championship right now.
Todd Geary, a 6 foot, 195-pound senior. That's his 4th interception on the year, and no doubt the biggest of the year for him. Cherry Creek keeping it on the ground is Miriam, who was as valuable a player on offense for Cherry Creek as we've seen all day.
He's done a great job of carrying the football for him, and he's been very valuable. And of course, Montbello is going to use some of their timeouts now and try to strip the ball away and try to see if they can get one and get back in the ball game.
Montbello just used the first of its 3 timeouts. There's 2.5 minutes to go. Cherry Creek leading 14-0. You see the whole story right there on the scoreboard at the south end of the Stutler Bowl.
I just think Banfield, his offense, he didn't have good field position, and said, "I know how you feel." And he kind of looked at me, but you have to celebrate, no matter if you win or lose.
Now, there are 27 teams in the 6A classification this year. Ben Gregory has made it to the final 2. You have to feel pretty good about that.
Well, I thought that was a little watered down, Les, with only 27 teams, and there was about 51 5A teams. But when you're in the final game and you're playing for it and you win it, you don't care how many teams. But Ben has to feel good about himself and his squad and his high school, because you are champions too. If you come up a little short And I feel bad when the person doesn't win the game. And myself, I've been in that position. I've won them and lost them. But he's got to be awful proud that they've had an outstanding year. I mean, the game's not over yet, but the way they're running the football, it could be.
You know, he's something of a prophet. When I went down to Montbello High School yesterday and talked with him, I said, what have you learned losing in 2 state championship games, and now you're going into your 3rd? And he said, I've learned that I have my teams well prepared, but there's one thing you can't control, and that's the breaks, and we haven't gotten the breaks. He said, I'll take it any way I can get it tomorrow, even if it's luck. I just want to get some breaks. Well, unfortunately for Gregory, Montbello didn't get any breaks today.
Ben didn't get a break at all. I'll tell you, he didn't have any today.
Then again, on the other side of the ball, Mike Wolford and the Cherry Creek Bruins, they made their own breaks. When Montbello did fumble it, Cherry Creek was right there to pick it up 4 times.
Well, when you're playing great defense and you're around, you could fall on the ball in the end zone or scoop one up, and your defense could score. Then you're doing some good things. You're making good hits, and you're making things happen defensively.
Well, Mike Wolford teaches architectural engineering and mechanical drawing at Cherry Creek, and he drew up a pretty good game plan today.
He's got a good one.
Cherry Creek with a first down. Minute 50 to go. Is Marion. Doesn't really care if he gains many yards as long as the clock keeps ticking.
Dave Gonzalez is going to go out and talk to him. They're going to use another timeout and hope that they could strip the ball away from him.
Keep in mind the parade of lights tonight at 7 o'clock.
He's learned some great things from Fred.
He learned how to win a state title is what he learned today. M.J. Torres.
Well, it's just an extension, Les. I mean, all the years, 27 years that's Fred here, and Mike played for him as defensive coordinator for a number of years, and I think that's quite a compliment to Fred that he's passed this on, and Mike just stepped right in. They made some changes offensively and defensively, but they didn't make a lot of changes. And Mike's made a smooth transaction, and he's a winner, and he's done a great job with his staff and his team.
Yeah, it's the old saying, why fix it if it ain't broke? And Cherry Creek was the dominant football team in the state throughout the 1980s. Yeah, Mike Wolford was a little apprehensive coming into his first year as a head coach, and following what you can call a legend.
Calling a living legend.
27 years, and Wolford said he wasn't too concerned with the football part of things. It was how would people look upon him following Fred Tassone.
Well, here comes Chad Ismarian, and he just goes up the field. I think their corners were up. I think they may have been bringing a few more people, but caused a big hole, and they got another first down, and with less than 40 seconds left in the ball game. But and they dumped some ice water on him.
Boy, on a day like this, you're going to see icicles form on Mike Wolford's face.
And here comes the Bruin fans.
Cherry Creek did it in 1982. They did it in 1983 and again in 1986. And now, the Cherry Creek Bruins are the 1990 state champions in the 6A classification.
And Les, the first time at Stutler Bowl. They never had the opportunity to play a state championship game here. And here they are in Mike's first year, and they're state champions.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back for some post-game interviews.